Once again, we are still addressing the issue raised by the Land Use Charge Act that was brought on by the Lagos State government. And in the studio today, we're privileged to have the chairman of the NBA Ikeja branch, aka Tagaba, Mr. Adesina Ogunlana. It's a pleasure having you on SaharaTv studio, sir.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege. Great.
Lagos State government eventually bows to pressure. What's your reaction to this?
My immediate reaction is to view that development with some level of cynicism, in the sense that why run to Sokoto when you can easily put your hand in your Sokoto? Why put the cart before the horse? I thought the governor was said to be Harvard trained. A person is a chartered accountant, surrounded by so-called gurus and all that. And the elementary thing in governance, which is consultation before legislation, consultation before taxation, they failed it. If it was some other places, he would resign. I do not see anything so special, because it took us to the streets, it took agitations, it took so many meetings he now had before this government could come to a bit of its senses. It was an unnecessary brouhaha, and again the issue of legality. We've passed the stage of ruling by proclamations. It's not a military something. They've done legislation. So when you say these things have been reduced, who have they consulted? At what quantum? At any rate, I'm not impressed. The government has been fraudulent in its claim, has been sleek, has been glib, has held on to a monopoly of wisdom, omniscience of thought. They were challenged, behaved like a bully. So I'm not impressed. But I think the struggle continues. If they mean business, they should do the normal thing. You've made a law. It's legislation. So when you want to vary it, you go through the legislative process and not coming up to say that we have reduced the charges. I'm not satisfied.
Mr. Adesina, let's look at some of the concessions they claim to have given based on the pressure now. This includes the fact that they are cutting commercial charges by 50%. They're reducing charges for owner-occupier with third party to 25%. They're waiving penalty for late payments as well, and they're giving tax credits to LUC charges already paid.
It's not enough. At any rate, it's still arbitrary. It might be well-meaning, but still arbitrary. For example, there are the people who came up with their mathematics and reduction and percentages and everything. Is that one attaching particular value? How did they come to the values they are saying? I learned from an architect that there is no way, and from valuers, there's no way you can, for example, this building, you need to come in and assess it. Even ordinarily, you want to buy this property, will you go and use Google Map, look at the picture of the house from the outside and begin to assess it? There's a fellow who was so affected, was given an assessment from 135,000 naira to 2 million naira. But these are so-called concessions. The person is not going to pay $1 million. They said they assessed his property to be 350, now 370 million. The fellow said he told one or two of those people in the government, all those are former comrades and all that. Now with Randall told me that, look, gentlemen, if this is true, you value this place of 379 million naira, please come and buy it and give me the money. I will drop the thing in the bank, and I'll be collecting 10 to 15% something on it, and that's about 40-something million naira. And I will tell all my workers, please, you don't need to come to work again, just be collecting check and everything. It's ridiculous. And so I'm not impressed, because as our people say in Yoruba, you have the knife, you have the yam, so you are cutting. They still don't understand the rubrics of democracy. They are behaving like, you know, their uncle on these uncles. You know, they will just benevolent uncles who will decide, well, maybe this time around, because you've done well in school, you're going to now have wonderful socks, additional meat and everything. And whether you now like to eat the meat or not, they say no. It's what they want. They want the like. They are behaving like masters. They're not our masters. Aki Umambode is the servant of Lagos. Obasa is the servant of Lagos. The chief judge of Lagos State, even though not elected, is the servant of Lagos. And the power belongs to that people. It's not for people to be like a Solomon and be say, okay, as if they are doing us a favor. Now that you people, hungry people, poor people, since I've now shouted and yelled, okay, we have done this for you. What we are saying is that the fundamentals of the figure itself is fraudulent, and so it is not the government acting paternalistically to us. It's not, democracy is not about benevolence. It's about being responsible to people, admitting that sovereignty belongs to the people, not even to the parliament, not to talk of the executive.
Individuals and organized private sector and others are still assessing the immediate impact of this new concession that the government, Lagos State government is, said to have been giving. And one question that is bothering an average Lagosian now is, what are the key issues of this tax regime? These arbitrary taxation policies of this government that they need to consider.
Yes, what you see, what it is that the government has an elitist view of life. They are out of sync. I've said it repeatedly with the reality of people. And as I'm talking now, I go see the image of Fashola floating. That funny fellow. That guy said he want to make LASU a world-class university, and he raised school fees from 250 naira to 50,000. Students who protested, they were expelled and all that. So this government say, we want to, turn to New York, we want to do this, we want to do this. What are the circumstances and realities of our people? So in doing this, like when they used to say, we ban street hawking, we ban street trading. Really, which parent would like his 9-year-old child to be selling gala, running up and down? It's condition that make crayfish bend. So it's sensible and pro people, and not only sympathetic, but empathetic. Will say, just like Jesus, that was just a super evangelist. He was the only one I know who would do crusade and still provide food for people. These evangelists, they don't do that in Nigeria. When you go to Redeem camp, I'm sorry, you have to bring your food. They'll give something. So now a governor or a leader of the people should be that considerate. Who are these people? What are their conditions? But when you have become fat, when you have become rich, when you are leading poor people, when people are complaining, they know like that foolish queen who said was cut off at Antoinette of France. When they say, why are these people outing? So the AIDS told her, it's because there's no bread. That's why they say, if there's no bread, give them cake. Give them cake. The queen said, give them cake. If there's no bread, everybody knows that cake is by far much more expensive than ordinary bread. But the queen, because living in the palace and eating up the people, was if there's no bread, now give them cake. It's like somebody say, if there's no eba, give them pounded yam. So to show how far away. So the intent of this government is I want to make more money so as to execute particular projects that will turn Lagos into a so-called mega city, smart city. But you don't create paradise for dead people, do you?
Not at all.
So that's where they miss it.
This is sad. The question, under normal circumstances, is governments are supposed to at least consider people if you are even introducing a new tax regime. Because part of the arguments they said was that they wanted to build, the inadequacy or the deficiency of infrastructure facilities is part of the reasons why this new so-called consolidated tax regime was brought into place. They failed to consider the people. They failed to consult, so to say, and negotiate before you talking about negotiation. What is wrong with the economic policies of this government?
It's because I think I should like to borrow a few lines, not actually borrow from Sheung Kuti when he was talking about motherland people, that the problem with our country is that we are living with borrowed brains and colonial mentality. Agbawewu. I'm sorry if I'm speaking Yoruba. I'm lapsing into my motherland tongue. You see, when you borrow a rope, you see that it will tie you in the neck or to be too short. So that's what our religion borrowed, language borrowed, institutions borrowed, court borrowed, lawyer borrowed, everything borrowed. So when you say democracy as a concept, it's strange to these people. They even call government Ijoba. Ijoba, because it's monarchy and people are used to and all that. And then the way we parade them, we are still using the titles for monarchs. For them, His Excellency. And you are with swear that. But I think who will call the governor of New York His Excellency Minister? In fact, they will impeach you if you say that. Then I was told that this funny story of a redeemed pastor who was going to US to, his name is Timothy something. So they said they advised him, look, there's no papa there, there's no Gio. They will even call you Tim. So you don't feel insulted. You guys just say Tim. You say, you are talking to a pastor. Nobody is going to kneel down for you to pray for them. Exactly. All of you hold hands and pray this prayer. You see, colonial mentality is what is strong. These people think they are doing us a favor. Even the manner of reduction. Instead of first apologizing profusely. Instead of even saying, I failed, like Tasholari, quite a decent fellow. Say, for me, a whole commissioner, public complaint commissioner, to have been traveling without my, what is called now, license. And the poor policeman did not know it was Tasholari, that he was arrested. He had it, was not traveling with, by Monday, it was a Saturday, Tasholari had resigned. We are talking way back 1974. Way back. These are decent people now. These are decent people. So, that is the problem. When you are not a Democrat, if I could borrow a line from the Pauline scripture, said that it is in God we move, we live, and move, have our being. So the politician will have to see himself as, it is in people that I move, I live, I have my relevance. But they are not like that. We are doing them this. We are doing this for them. We want to make life better for them. We see these people don't understand. Oh, these people, like that. So that is the problem. That's the real, and this problem is going to recur in image, and there's a different version and everything. So, for example, when we are doing the protest, the police were following us and shepherding us and all that. And when I was speaking with that guy, the commissioner of police, he said that he thought he was doing me a favor, that we have to protect you people. He didn't know that really. What he's saying is that Lagosians are violent people ordinarily. Lagosians are irresponsible people ordinarily. And when we are now going on this protest, you could see overt security presence. But if you are a Democrat and everything, you underplay the security, it becomes, I say, that is the gain of democracy. The gain of democracy is the promotion and entrenchment of Chapter 4 of the Constitution. All the freedoms is not in building roads, is not in doing skyscraper and all those. Any government can do that. Any government, including military, a theocracy, any government can do. But once a democracy is the people that is the value that you promote, their liberty, their freedom, their right to say no, their right to change you at any rate. Democracy is a limitation, a reaction to monarchical power, the fusion of powers, the reduction of monopoly of powers, and the enthronement of the law and the people above governance. But here we are still struggling. Now, when they have done their so-called wrong reduction now, they will expect us to start clapping for them. So if tomorrow somebody carries a placard again, they will not be completely infuriated. What nonsense! That's some of the advice I'll be telling you. This is what you are saying. When I was saying don't back down, you see now they've gotten them and holding again. So that is the real problem. That they forget that they are to serve the people. That they forget that you are the servants of the people and that they beg to be here. You beg, even when you reach, you still beg to be there. So, like I was saying, we address them, Your Excellency, and Your Honorable. We that voted for you, nobody regards me as excellent. Me vote for you, I put you there. Then because you are there, they say first lady, first citizen. Where are you first? For first of, if you say first servant, yes. If you say chief servant, yes. If you say alaru, yes. Minister itself, the meaning of minister really is means to serve. That's the meaning. Go to the etymology. The word minister is to serve. But because we are African, with our pomposity, borrowed brain, borrowed culture, we now see the governor, and if, for example, the governor should decide to come to a particular place, oh, even the governor came. How? Even the governor came. What's there? Just as when you are in the school, some people say that I was in the office of the Vice Chancellor. Yeah. So that's the biggest. It's just a big deal. So until we change these, I know, you know, we need to reinvent ourselves. If it's this democracy that we still continue to practice, let us really understand. Let's really understand what democracy is about, and it's simple: people's power, people's power. Whether simplistic as democracy is government by the people, for the people, by the people, it is people's power. So, and if it is people's power, whoever is holding office, you know, for example, people say, they say, on a titi joba, joba, that is the light of the government. The road of the government was a lie. It's the road of the people. It is the light of, you know, some judges they say, in my court, your lord, my lord, is not your court, it's the people's court. Right. It's not your court. The government is sustained by the people's sweat, by the people's franchise, by the people's vote, and by the people's money. And the uniform people, the taxi, the uniform they wear, the arms they bear, all of these are not paid for by government. It's paid for by the people through the government, who are the servants of the people. When you understand the rubrics, they become more humbled and they will defer to the people.
Winsome words. May I get your perspective? What is next now for MBA as far as this struggle is concerned?
I can only speak for my MBA. We have the MBA National. We have the 125 other branches of the MBA. But the epicenter
is the MBA Ikeja branch.
Ikeja. I can only speak for Ikeja. We are going back to the drawing board. We are going to have an emergency meeting very, very soon. We are going to have meetings with our civil society allies and comrades, and we are going to review the situation. And we'll go to look beyond the ephemera. We will refuse to be deceived by the so-called palliative. If a man cheats me, open daylight, why should I sleep comfortably with him in the evening, dead of the night? That's our attitude. We don't trust this government. They want to take us on the sly, and we'll be fools to relax our guards. The society is going to hear more from us. MBA Ikeja.
Great. Away from Lagos State land use charge and its crisis, we're looking at the federal level at this point in time. Some couple of days back, the president refused to assent the electoral amendment bill that was presented by the National Assembly. National Assembly intends to veto it. What are the legal implications of this?
Well, I was reading yesterday, this morning, that the court stops National Assembly.
Exactly. From restraining order.
So, exactly. Well, since they've managed to admit me to the Nigerian bar as the legal practitioner now, and as an order of court, whichever way, there's an order of court now. But ordinarily, the arguments on both sides. The people who are trying to reorganize the order of elections.
Exactly.
Do they have the powers, considering the constitutional powers given to INEC? But as a Senate, one can argue, yes, they have powers to make laws, but can you have powers to make laws already made by the Constitution without the amendment of the Constitution? So, but if you look at the argument, well, if I could go back to rely back on the philosophy of my fathers, ordinarily they say, oh, they say Ogunlana no. So the argument is how can you start with presidential something? But you know the problem again with the Senate is that it's as an institution that is lacking in integrity and acceptance by the Nigerian people is the Senate. Whether fortunately or unfortunately. So you know when somebody is a known rapist, even when you have castrated him and he wants to play with your daughter, you need to say this rapist. So that's the problem. The Senate, their history, at least especially under Mr. Dr. Bukola Saraki, has a lot of baggage. So anything they want to do now, so people view them with suspicion and all that. But it serves very well. Serves him very well. I won't say one that serves him well. What he was saying belong to everybody. What
nobody.
They belong to everybody. Yeah.
Mr. Adesina, thank you very, very much for your insightful. Ogunlana.
My father is Ogunlana.
Mr. Adesina Ogunlana. We thank you for your insightful analysis.